can sing Erev Shel Shoshanim, which is in the Siddur. But I don't know that he may be able to play it. Does it need new batteries?
No. Oh, I see. No, it's on. I just didn't turn it on. Pins!
Yay.
Pins have arrived.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Vadim. Those are beautiful.
All right, so it's for Judy's family. Judy?
Bim bam, bim bam, bim bam. Bam, I did it, bam bam. I did it, bam bam. I did it, bam. Yada bim, yada bim, yada bim bam, bim bam, bim bam. Yada bim. Yada bum, yada bim bam, bim bam, bim bam. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bum. Yada bum. Yada bum. Yada bim bum bim bum bim bum. Yada bum. Yada bim bum bim bum bim bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bum. Yada bim. Yada bum. Yada bim bum bim bum bim bum. Yada bum. Yada bum, yada bim bum, bim bum, bim bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bim bum bum. I chitty bitty bitty bum. Shabbat shalom.
Together. Okay, here we go. Now can you hear me?
Whatever
Okay.
you desire will be wonderful.
Whichever one speaks to you. You can read the English if that feels better. Okay. Amen. Amen. Yasher koach. Thank you.
Toda rabah.
Page 5 for Kiddush. Transforming the day.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lemaaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta, yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mikadesh ha-shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Shabbat shalom.
L'chaim.
You know, Larry came in and said, can we say Shehechianu if we haven't been here for a year? So just a show of hands if it's been a year or more since you've been in the sanctuary. Yeah, so for all of us who it's been a while, let's offer a Shehechianu for this moment. You know what, there may be other firsts that we're celebrating as well. So we will hold that kavanah in this bracha. You can say, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign over all time and space, who has given us life, sustained us, and who has brought us to this moment in time, this holy moment.
Amen.
You know, there's another bracha. You know what? Enough talking. I would like, first of all, we're going to turn around and say Shabbat Shalom to everybody watching us on YouTube. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I know for a fact that for each and every one of you, there's at least one person in this room that you've either never met or forgot their name. So get up, introduce yourself, remind them of your name, wish them Shabbat Shalom. I don't care.
Okay.
I think a love song would be nice. I'm just.
You know it, right? Just along with me.
I don't know if I know. If I don't, then you'll lead it and it'll be fine. But I'll have to. Yeah.
As much as you can noodle along, and if not, don't worry about it. I mean, I just thought of it on my way here, and I don't have any music with me, so it's good to have it in your back pocket for weddings.
Okay, so there's actually there's another blessing. It's our tradition that if you haven't seen someone for over a year, as you greet them, we offer the blessing, Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMeitim. And maybe you've heard this. It means, blessed are you, Adonai, who revives the dead. And I just would sort of throw that out here. I mean, why, if you haven't seen somebody that you're very fond of for a year or more, would you praise the universe for reviving the dead? What comes to you? Because they might have died. They might have died. Because they're what? Because they were gone. They were gone. How about this revival business? Did you catch that blessing? So if you haven't seen a good friend for over a year, and you see them, you say, "Blessed are you, Adonai, who revives the dead." Okay, we're going to sit back down now.
Because we're sleepwalking in life. So we're revived from our sleepwalking.
Say that a little louder so everybody can hear that.
Rabbi, I think it's because many people are sleepwalking in their lives. So we're revived to stop being asleep and be awake.
I think that notion of reviving is actually something.
I don't take it literally. Like there's the one about opens the eyes of the blind. I think we are all blind at times. So that's the way it speaks to me. It's not necessarily that you're blind literally, but that maybe we don't see the blessings before us.
I think there's something about reviving a friendship that was dormant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I love it.
We should turn to page 13 and start singing. And that's
I
what
think we
singing
should
is.
sing.
So for this we celebrate Yismachu. Put your finger in page 44 and turn to page 13. Yismachu Hashamayim.
Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Tzagel Haaretz.
Yismachu Hashamayim.
Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Tzagel Haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yerem hayam, Yerem hayam, umelo, Yerem hayam, Yerem hayam, Yerem hayam, umelo. 44. Shomre, 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 Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha. Shomre, 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 Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Mekadesheh, Mekadesheh Shvi Shabbat, Kulam Yisbe'u V'yitangu Mitu B'cha Shabbat, Yismechu V'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat, Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Ratzita bo v'kidashta Shabbat, Chemdad yamim, Oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Zecher L'maaseh Bereshit Shabbat. Zecher L'maaseh Bereshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, V'korei Oneg Shabbat.
22 for this psalm for Shabbat.
More shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid baboker chasdecha, be'emunatcha balelot, alei hasor ve'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Ki simachtani Adonai b'foalecha, במעשה ידיך ארנן, מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, עליון.
So fitting for every Shabbat is when we say, come, welcome, my beloved. Lecha, dodi, dodi, my dod, my beloved. That especially this week. And as the young maidens would dance in the fields in Jerusalem, so will we dance in the fields of our isles. So, page 20, Lecha dodi.
Lecha dodi lekrat gala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat gala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'ribor echad, hishmianu el ha-meyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, Shem u'tiferet v'letila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor ha'beracha, nerosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machsheva tchila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoriri, hitoriri, kiva orech, kumi uri, 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 shir daberi, kvod Adonai, alayech nigla. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. O'i v'shalom aterek bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzola, tochem unei am segula. Bo'i chala, bo'i chala. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Ya nai na nai 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 nai
Give me a thumbs up when it's better.
Please remain standing for the Barhu on page 28.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai, 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 lai.
Page 30, as we welcome the evening.
Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim ma'ariv aravim v'chochma poteach sheharim ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים סדר הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו לי 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 וחושך מפני אור מעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו יאי לי 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 תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. לי 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 מעריב ערבים.
Everlasting love, ahavat olam.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael.
You've offered your people Israel
Amcha
by teaching us
ahavta,
Torah.
Amcha ahavta.
You've loved us.
Torah
And
u'mitzvot,
laws,
Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochvenu uv'kumeinu na'asiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu be'orech yameinu uvahem nehege yomam balayla nege yomam balayla ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מסבך היום על לבבך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Join me, please, on page 37. Let's read this together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you're tired or you're rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God.
I am Adonai, your God.
And all this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us, that you alone are God, and we are Israel, your people. And they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously as we do now for Micha Mocha on page 40. Who is like you? Could be possibly like you.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר הקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו, page 42.
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו.
6 lines up from the bottom.
לחיים ולשלום, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך.
us to rise for the Amidah, that personal conversation with that which is tremendous in the universe and connects us to all life. We ask that our mouths be opened and the words flow on page 46.
Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sifatai Tiftach, Ananananana Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagiti Ilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sifatai Tiftach, Ananananana Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagite Ilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geulah Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Atara V'Hoshia, Morid Hatah, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim B'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidah Melach, Melech Mamit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelujah selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
I invite you to continue your Amidah prayer privately through page 60 or the text of your heart, and invite you to take your seat when you feel you are finished. שאתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו מגן ישנו אתה ולטוב
shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen.
May the one who makes peace in the heavens make peace among us all. May it reverberate across the cosmos, and let us all say, Amen.
Amen.
Invite us, please, to turn to page 253 for the Mishaberach, the Cholim, the blessing for healing, body, spirit, psyche, self, relationship.
Mishaberach avotenu mikor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
This week we're especially praying for Millie Rottenberg, Howard Simon, Gloria Berkowitz, Gittel Bat Chana, Bernice Portney, Kreindl Bat Yehudit Sharon, Kathy Gale, Florence Wellen, Beryl Ben Sima Vishmuel Leib, Ephraim Andrade, Enrique Duchitanga, Devorah Bat Yocheved, Steve Gellis, Shalom Avram Ben Golda Sheahu, Myrtle Cupid, Michael Rosenblum, Leanna May Babcock, Lenore Katz Satsky, Leonard Kaminer, Eddie Richardson, Darnell Richardson, Maurice Stearns, Brian Clark, Novita Ruffin, Lori S., Harav Miriam Yael Bat Sarah Yitzchak, Maxwell Zwain, Menachem Mendel Ben Yehudit Michael, Tovia Ben Bela, Dwayne Charleston, Richard Foran, Lisa Shuckman, Sandra Myers Chaikin, and to these names we add
Ellen Golden, Cantor, Minnie Frischman, Barbara Stamplin. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotzenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
May they know a full and complete refuah shlema, speedily and uneventfully. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So happy Tu B'Av. I was wishing my kids a happy Tu B'Av, and I got to tell you, they all went to day school. They went to Jewish day school, and they're like, how come we never learned about this holiday? All these years of Jewish school, did you learn about it? You didn't learn about it? Yeah, what's up with that? And they went to Jewish camp too. It's like in the summer, you would think. But I don't know, it's getting short shrift. Also, I'm feeling it as my sacred duty to talk about Tu B'Av. It is a full moon, and the weather is hot and steamy. So this is the night that our ancient ancestors designated as the night of love. Long ago, tonight in the glow of a full summer moon, the young maidens robed in white would boldly go out and dance in the fields outside the walls of Jerusalem and sing out to the young men of Jerusalem. And they would parade around in borrowed white garments. Now, this was a value statement, though not what you might think. This was not of virginal purity, which is, by the way, a 19th century Victorian association. They dressed in white in this way, all in the same, so as to not put anyone to shame who didn't have those clothes. And long before anyone had heard of St. Valentine or even Sadie Hawkins, the Talmud recounts that these maidens would dance in the vineyards and exclaim, "Young man, lift up your eyes and see what you choose for yourself. Do not set your eyes on beauty, but set them on good family. Grace is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears God, she will be praised." So in our language, 21st century, that sort of translates to look within and decide what's truly important and choose from there. Don't be distracted by status, fashion, and unrealistic ideals of perfection. True love will develop and deepen from what matters most. And love is an apt topic for tonight, not only because it's Tu B'Av, that great full moon, but because of the V'ahavta, which of course we chanted after the Shema, And because the Shema and the V'ahavta actually comes from this week's Parsha, Ve'et Hanan. V'ahavta, of course, means and you will love. But this is really curious, this place in Torah that says, and you will love. Notice the finger wagging. You will love. How can anybody be directed to love? How can a person be directed to feel anything? How can we be directed to feel anything at any moment in time, let alone feeling that feeling forever or for all times or for our entire life? It's a ridiculous idea. It's humanly impossible. And I don't know about you, but I would reject any creed that suggests either that it is possible or that demands that of any human being. It would be a recipe for a life of guilt and shame, right? You're supposed to love. Right? Well, I'm not feeling it. What are you supposed to do if you don't feel it? And a life of guilt and shame is antithetical to what is either healthy or what our tradition, to what Judaism teaches. So that's got to mean that V'ahavta, and you will love, needs some seriously nuanced translation to pray it with integrity, which we try, and to take it seriously, which of course we do, as part of the Shema. And while it would be a really fun time, maybe with an audience of one, me, to do a philosophical and theological exploration of what that might mean, I want to, for tonight, put these words, and you shall love, in the context of the Parsha, and start with one very real human being, Moses. Right? Because he's the one that's receiving these words. Now, our story this week, our Parsha, opens with Moses pleading with God for his life. He doesn't want to die, at least not before leading the Israelites into the Promised Land. And as it has been throughout the entire Torah, Moses' vulnerabilities, his imperfections, his doubts, his humanity has been on full display. And it's not always such a pretty picture. And unlike Jesus, Mohammed, and even Buddha, who are characterized as embodying a perfection in action and in faith, for which their adherents aim to attain, as Jews, we have no such ideal. This is simply just not a Jewish model, this model of perfection in faith or in action. So Moses' life is a teaching of a different sort. Moses comes from quite dubious beginnings. He has serious anger management issues. His behavior as a husband and a father is pretty questionable. He's impatient, and he's sometimes even violent. He has doubts, he has ghosts, and he often just wants to throw it all in. His frustrations, his imperfections, they are in full, unadulterated view in the text of our Torah. And as I was thinking about this, in our day, he would be totally canceled. Let's think about that. Now, I love this about the Torah because it is unabashedly declaring that all of us are just who we are, no more and no less. Even our greatest leader was just a human being. And then, rather than spouting all the times that the Israelites believed or acted in perfect faith, the Torah here recounts some of our most faithless moments. This is what I make of this. I think we're reminded of our imperfections and Moses' imperfections so that when we're confronted with our own and we're confronted with others, we can be gentle with ourselves, not beat up on ourselves or compare ourselves to some unrealistic ideal. And in these moments, we have a guide in Torah, in this very same parsha, that includes the second version of the Ten Commandments that we received in Exodus. So we have both the Ten Commandments for the second time and the V'ahavta in this week's parsha, that's reminding us back when there at Sinai, when we really made that commitment, when we bound ourselves to one another for the long haul. The long haul, and I'm not talking 40 years, I'm not talking 40 generations, I'm talking into eternity. And while these second versions of the Ten Commandments that we have here in the book of Deuteronomy are essentially the same as the Ten Commandments that we had back in the book of Exodus, there's a slight difference here in Deuteronomy that bears a little examination. Because in the Exodus version, they both have the observe Shabbat, that's what I'm talking about here. And in the Exodus version, it says that the reason that we're supposed to observe Shabbat is to create a day for ourselves. We're supposed to craft time that gives us a taste, just a taste of the Garden of Eden, a taste of paradise, a taste of what a perfect world might taste like. A reality in which there is no poverty, no oppression, no war, no sickness, no injustice. It's the world as it will be when we get through repairing all of its flaws. This, we're taught, is what is God's ultimate vision for the outcome of our world. It's not here now, but that's what God holds for us as a vision of the universe which human beings join in the covenant partnership to complete. And as Rabbis Heschel and Yitz Greenberg teach, our job is to craft Shabbat, those 25 hours, as sacred time to treat ourselves, to be gentle with ourselves, to give us a foretaste of that perfected world. In those 25 hours of Shabbat, we craft those hours to live in that final perfection now. And this gives us an extraordinary, if temporary, taste of the ultimate paradise on earth. And we do that on Shabbat. We have that little taste of perfection we get to dwell in for a day, so that we become even more motivated to resume working to bring that repaired world into being. And we do that work from Sunday to Friday with that, that taste still in our mouth. And having tasted perfection, we're not going to settle for the flawed present and reality, even if we enjoy a privileged state and lots of pleasures. And so we know that we don't live in a perfect world, but the spiritual practice of Shabbat is to get that regular taste so that we can keep our aspirations clear and present in front of us, right? It's not this amorphous thing. We've actually carved a little bit of that for ourselves, and we can taste it. And this is very different from just living with a constant struggle with what is wrong in the world, or a constant struggle with even what's wrong with ourselves. Love in how we feel it and how we express it is aspirational in all forms. In our relationships with our loved ones, as well as with God and the Jewish people, it's a covenant that we hold before us in that same way as a vision. We hold it before us as a beacon that guides us. And we say the V'ahavta daily for the same reason that we observe Shabbat weekly, to remind us of our highest aspirations in love and to remind us of our highest aspirations for the world, our highest aspirations for how we are, that taste of paradise. All at the same time, we accept ourselves as human pendulums, that we swing in and out of these states of feeling it, being present toward it, and sometimes just being exhausted. This is spiritual humility. It's what it means to be both human and a God wrestler, because we can be no more and no less than just human beings who try to wrestle with doing it just a little bit better each day. Having faith in the Jewish context is having the ability to say, I'm bound. I'm bound to staying in this ring for this sacred wrestling match. I am where I am today. I'll reconsider it and go for another round tomorrow, hopefully better. This is love. A relationship with anyone or anything who we truly love is going to have its ups and downs. It's going to have its moments of passion and elation and moments of disdain and frustration and everything in between. Because if it doesn't have those extremes, it's not real. Do we have a relationship, a real relationship, with anyone or anything that's always just wonderful? If you do, it's not real. It's the same thing with our relationship with God as it is even with ourselves, with our beloveds. But if it's real, you know you're in it for the long haul. Even when we're not feeling it, we're still bound to each other. Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler asks us to notice that most people say that they give to someone because they love them. But he teaches that the truth is the opposite. We don't give because we love. We love because we give. So in our world, we might think that we marry because we love. But in truth, Rav Dessler would say, we marry so that we will love each other. True love doesn't give birth to marriage, rather commitment gives birth to true love. And that's based on shared values of what binds us to something higher. And this is the message that those maidens dancing in the vineyard were calling out to heed. And when we say the V'ahavta, and you will love in the Shema, we perform the intimate act of binding ourselves to God not as a consequence of our love. It's the way that we try to fall in love. It keeps our aspirations before us so that we may live in that love and taste and work for a world redeemed. And we pray, not because we believe in God. We believe in God because we pray. And those prayers connect us to the highest aspirations that we have for ourselves, our relationships, and our world. Shabbat Shalom. So, our little question of the day, I was thinking as I was driving here, so if we could break into, I don't know, so let's do 3 groups, one here and split this one in 2. And I'm going to ask if this is something that has any resonance for you, this idea that through doing, then you believe, or through doing, that's after you do it, that's when you understand the value of it. Usually we say, oh, I'll do it because when I understand why. And that's our modern notion of why we do what we do. We have to understand it. But I'm wondering if anybody's ever had an experience in which they tried something or they did something even before they they had the feeling for it. And somehow the understanding or the feeling or the connection came later. Talk amongst yourselves. Did Mary put the page number for Erev Shishel Shalim? Or just the music? No? Okay, I'll find it. Ah, 350. So I'm wondering if there's something interesting that's come up that maybe somebody wants to share what was resonating with the larger group. Anybody have something they want to share? No? Well, I invite you to chew on the question afterwards as well. Let's turn to page 284 for Aleinu.
V'hashevota
El levavecha
el livavecha
ki Adonai
ki Adonai
hu Elohim
hu ha-Elohim
v'hashevota
v'hashevota
el levavecha
el livavecha
ki Adonai
ki Adonai
hu Elohim
hu ha-Elohim
v'ne'emar
V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Vayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo
Mourner's Kaddish on page 294, in which we honor those who came before us and who gave us life. If it is your custom to be seated for the Mourner's Kaddish, I invite you to sit now if you prefer to stand, or if you are honoring somebody, please remain standing. We are not quite yet in Shiva for David Schnur, who died today. We're really brokenhearted for Karen and Fred, who lost their beloved son. Marcy's brother, Meredith's husband, Lexi and Sammy's dad. We're observing the yahrzeit of Rena Abrams, Regina Hibble, Irving Kisner, Arnold Vernick. Is there anyone else who is observing a yahrzeit or who is in their year of mourning? I invite you to please say their name out loud. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach irutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru.
Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei almaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shmei v'kudisha
B'richu.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'miran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen. Ose shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu
feel free to add anything else.
Thank you, Rabbi.
It should be on.
It looks like it's on. Can you hear me?
There's like two
So why
different
don't you
places.
take off your mask?
Hello?
Take off your mask. That might help. If you speak into the mic, people in YouTube land can hear you. No, they couldn't on that mic.
Well, I hope you can hear me. You can hear me. All right. Thank you, Rabbi Morit. Thank you, Maura Marion, for a lovely service and for the great harmonies tonight. Thank you, Seth, for your spirited playing and accompaniment. Thank you, Seth, for live streaming and setting up the live stream and overcoming the difficulties which happen every single time something different comes up. But you got us online. And thank you all for attending here and online. Registration for in-person attendance to High Holy Day services is now open. It's open, as I think most of you know, to members in good standing, meaning you have made your pledge for this year. If you are not yet a member, there's still time to apply and become a member, and the procedure for doing that is on the temple website, betheljc.org. Starting Tuesday, we're going to start sending out emails for online registration to members in good standing. It's required to be able to attend our in-person services for the High Holy Days. We expect large demand. We always have a filled sanctuary, and this year we're only able to have 200 people during our regular services and 150 for family services with all the kids racing around. So get your registration in early. Shabbat is Saturday, August 14th, 10:30 a.m. So that's for children up to 5 years old and their grown-ups. Rabbi Morit's Introduction to Judaism class will begin again on Wednesday, October 27th. It's 20 weeks long. It's held on Wednesday evenings beginning at 7:30 p.m. It's open to all, designed for individuals and couples from Jewish and various faith traditions and cultural backgrounds. So please email Rabbi Morit with any questions or to register. That's Rabbi Morit at betheljc.org. Don't forget, our food pantry is still operating every Wednesday night from 5:30 until about 6:30. We always need volunteers, and we always need donations of food, money. You can donate via the temple website, or you can see the temple's wish list on Amazon. Well, I think that's a repeat. Just one item for clarification. This year we've asked people when they're making their membership pledge to add a $75 security surcharge. We started having security guards at certain of our services and events last year, and we would like to have them as much as possible. We had a grant. We have another grant that expires in February, I believe. So in order to have more full-time coverage by security guards, we've asked people to make this special additional donation when making their Teruma pledge. That's all I have. It's summer. There isn't that much going on at the temple. But we will be pondering Moses and
Oh, no, we do
love.
have something else that we should, there is, look at the website. Right, the conversation with Beth. Right, so it's going to be an adult ed session. It's online, a la the same thing that we've been doing for the last couple of months. And this is going to be the LGBTQ experience through the prism of Jewish life and Jewish values and Jewish history. So that's going to be, you'll find that on our website. You can register that way too. But that's the 5th? Is that what it is? Thursday the 5th? Whatever that Thursday is, that first Thursday in August. That should be on there, yeah.
Thank you,
And
Rabbi.
that's in honor of Gay Pride Month in Jersey City. Woo!
Yay. And I would just like to make a pitch for Jersey City Together. They're doing great work in Jersey City for to help bring up the educational system. They're doing all kinds of things with policing, trying to get rid of lead in the water systems in our public schools. Believe it or not, I think all or most of our schools do not have safe drinking water. And they have a lot of things that you can follow by looking up Jersey City Together. Temple Beth-El is a member, and we really encourage participation. Rabbi, I'll turn it back to you. And Maura Marian?
So the book of
Thank you, Tom.
Shir HaShirim, the Song of Songs, it's an extended erotic love poem. And on page 350 is an excerpt from that we will be offering as a closing prayer. Erev Shel Shoshanim. It's an evening of roses. Let us go out to the grove. Myrrh, spices, and frankincense are a carpet for you to tread. The night comes slowly and a breeze of rose is blowing. Let me whisper a ballad, a song of love. It is dawn. A dove is cooing. Your hair is filled with dew. Your lips are like a rose to the morning. I shall pick it for myself.
Erev shel Shoshanim, Netzena el habustan, Mor bizamim ulivona, Nerag lech miftan. Erev shel Shoshanim, Netzena el habustan, Mor bizamim ulivona, Nerag lech miftan. Laila yored lehat, Beruach Shoshan noshva, Hava el hashlach shir balat, Zemer shel ahava. Shochar homayona, Roshech malet halalim, Pichel habocher Shoshana, Ekta nefenuli. Lila yored, Lila yored lehat, Beruach Shoshan noshva, Hava el hashlach shir balat, Zemer shel ahava, Zemer shel ahava, Zemer Teavon.
Yes, we're trying to be safe. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, John. Jewish soul food. Of course. Shabbat shalom. Raisin. Yeah, that was good. No, something really nice at the end of the evening. It's almost like onegi. Right. Good stuff. Ooh, is that really is that, can you put things in there? Can you put, no. Oh, it looks like it's a, so what's the word from your friends in China?